Let's start talking about a topic that we just don't talk about enough. Why do we keep failing at weight loss? And I think it's important to think about it from the point of view of objectively looking at the bigger picture. So, how many people do you know go on a diet and then they say, I'm never going to change, this is it, I've done it, and then suddenly a while later they've come off the diet. And mentally they're in very different places. And it's really important to understand these two places to understand why the traditional going on a very strict hard diet doesn't work long term. So let's ask that question, and let's start trying to work this out, because there is actually there's an answer to this. It's quite a simple answer, but I think we need to start from the point of view of if you're someone who loves food, if you're someone who cares about people. Typically, you'll take on people's worries. You can get quite emotional about things that go wrong in your life. How do you lose weight if you love food? Well, it's really hard. If you love food, if food is something of a comfort to you, then what a diet does is it tells you that your personality, you loving food, needs to be changed. It's telling you off constantly, and this mismatch between what you are, which shouldn't change, and what the diet is trying to make you be, is one of the really big reasons why psychologically it jars with us so much. So this question is quite an interesting one, in that, do you know how to lose weight? Well, I think most people do. Even the NHS tell us, move more and eat less. We know what we want, what we should do, but how is it that we can't actually do it? And the reason is that we can't keep it up. We just can't keep that up mentally, because it goes against our personality, and life keeps getting in the way, and we feel like we don't have that control. So what is it that stops us keeping it up long term? Well, that's because we have an emotional dependence on food. And until you can detach psychologically in your brain this love of food, until you get to a point where you don't need the food as a crutch, that is the point at which you can then potentially start to diet, if you're mentally and physically strong enough. And so why do we comfort eat? Well, that's because we feel like we're not in control of our lives. And again, it comes full circle. It's because we care for people. It's because we're caring people, and we take on too much worry. We do too much for other people, and then in the end of the day, we just don't have enough time for ourselves. We don't have enough mental energy for ourselves. This is something I really believe in, and until you have a deep happiness, and deep happiness is nothing to do with superficial happiness. Superficial happiness is derived by how you look. A deep happiness is a feeling of control in your life, where most of the time you wake up in the morning and you're happy, you're motivated, and you want to make the right choice. And in modern life, if it isn't scrolling, if it isn't our sedentary lifestyle, or it isn't the ultra processed food or the rapidly digestible carbohydrates specifically that are tempting us back to this unhealthy living, it's really hard work to put up with all of that crap day to day and overcome it, as well as all the other stuff you've got to deal with in life. So I truly believe that by creating muscle in your brain and your body, by building fitness in your brain and your body, over time you can get to a point where that happens. But it's probably a lot further away than you'd like it to be. And I talk about this because this is an experience that I've been through, in that I used to call myself the world's worst dieter. I had a real inability to not comfort eat, and it's because I wasn't happy in life, truly happy. Niggles in relationships, resentment, or always doing something and feeling like your partner doesn't do this bit or that, or whatever it is, even with your kids, your parent, whatever it is. Once you tackle those niggles, that is actually the key to happiness, because when you can sort your life up and you can wake up and you can do the stuff you need to do, it's hard. You have to wake up and do the hard stuff. But when you can do that and you feel like you're in control, that's true happiness. And that's the point where you start to become less dependent on the food as an emotional kind of crutch. And this emotional regulation by the food, it's really hard, because the whole of society, the whole of modern life is pushed around this. But getting to the point of being more logical is possible, even if you're the world's worst dieter, because that's what I was, and I still am. I'm still the same person. If I'm honest, I think I'm more me than I ever was. The difference is I am me, but I'm in control. I have some discipline. I've learned how to leverage my own skills to gain discipline. This slide is a bit of a breakdown of the kind of path that I think is a great path to take if you want to really tackle the underlying problem. If you just want to kind of lose 10 pounds in a few weeks, then the way to do it is keto. Straight to keto. That's the way to do it. But if you're looking, after those 10 weeks, then in about 3 more weeks, you'll probably have more weight on. But if you're looking for a long-term solution, one where you're fundamentally waking up and choosing better fuel every day, then the pathway you need to take is one where it grows gradually. And sadly, it takes years. And this isn't just about your food. This is about your posture, aches and pains, feeling old, sorting out niggles in your life. You could be 10 years away from the best version of you, but that version of you is unimaginable at the moment. It would be so effective, happy, doing, tackling kind of dreams you've given up on years ago. But having said all of that, which is, not something you'd probably sign up for. I'm not going to sign up for a 10-year plan. But what about if I said to you in 3 weeks you can glimpse the new you? And that's what this first step is. The first step of this system of balanced is about giving you very simple, very lightweight changes which you can apply, and you will gain back some control. And even if you don't lose weight in the first 3 weeks, which you should do, if you don't, and especially if you're already sporty and already fairly fit, what you will definitely feel is a change in your mindset. You will be less controlled by the food, and you will feel more in control, more just kind of like you can intuitively live your life without worrying about the food so much. And over time, by practicing those 3 rules, they're just 3 rules, it helps you to gain some self-confidence, some resilience, and some grit. So it's a really exciting program because it's so simple, and you're really learning what you need to do for you. It's not going to tell you what to do. It's not going to tell you to change your lifestyle, buy this food, do that, change that. No, it's about the minimum changes possible. And it takes you gradually on that route. The route is long, but just like when you started infant school, you didn't think, oh my God, university's 15 years away. You just enjoyed having fun in infant school. And that's what this first step is. It's all about enjoying the fun. The whole journey is fun. Each time you get stronger, you then want to challenge yourself more. Just like when you go to the gym, you start getting fitter and you run a bit further or cycle a bit further or a bit faster. It's exactly the same. You will get to that point where you have real grit and determination. And that's the really exciting bit. But just try the 3-week course first. Get your head around it. Start practicing. You might need to do it a couple of times. Doesn't matter. Because you're looking at the long term. That it's unless you learn the basics of balanced, which is these fundamental 3 rules, it's not going to work long term. So that's something you need to get into your mindset and thinking about just trying the system and nothing more. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Good luck.